I read these books. Oh, Henley's short story. The Colony. There is a little area west of Washington Square called Greenwich Village. The streets there are crazy and break up into small parts. They are called places. These places have strange angles and curves. One street even crosses itself twice. Artists came to live in Greenwich Village because of the low rent, but the old-fashioned building with large windows and old attic also attracted them. The group of artists became known as a colony. At the top of the low, three-story brick building, Sue and Jonah had their studio. Sue was from Maine, and Jonathan from California. They met at the Italian restaurant and found their taste in art, food, and clothes were very similar. So they decided to live together. That was in May. However, in November, a cold, unseen stranger visited the colony. Doctor called him pneumonia. He touched a number of artists, including Joanna, with his sick ice finger. Poor Joanna lay quietly in her painted iron bed. She could do nothing but look through the window at the wall of the neighbor's brick house. One morning, the busy doctor examined Joanna and took her temperature. Then he went into the hallway and talked to Sue. She has one chance in 10 of living, said the doctor, raising his shaggy gray eyebrow. Then he shook his thermometer and continued. But she must want to live. I think your friend has made up her mind that she's not going to get better. Does she think about anything special? She wants to paint the Bay of Naples someday. Sasu, paint? Nonsense. Does she have anything more important in her life? Like a man, for instance? A man? Said Sue angrily. Is a man word? No, doctor, there is no man. 10 of living? Well, that's a problem then, said the doctor. I will do everything I can for her. But when a patient gives up, the medicine loses half its power. Try and get her talked about something, like a new winter style in coat, perhaps. Then I will promise you only 5 chance for her, instead of one in 10. After a doctor had gone, Sue went into her workroom and cried. In fact, she cried so much that her tissue fell to bits. Then she skipped into Joanna's room with her drawing board, listening the merry tune. In fact, she cried so much that her tissue fell to bits. Fell to bits. Then she skipped into Joanna's room with her drawing board, skipped, listening a memory tune, listening a merry tune. Joanna lay very still under a bedclothes. Her face was turned toward the window. Sue thought Joanna was asleep, so she stopped listening. Then she began a sketch of Idaho cowboy wearing a pair of elegant riding trousers. She began a sketch of Idaho cowboy wearing a pair of elegant riding trousers. Suddenly, she heard a low sound repeat several times. She hurried to Joanna's bedside. Her friend's eyes were wide open. She was looking out the window and counting slowly backward. 12, she said, then 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Sue looked out the window. What was Joanna counting? The only thing she could see was the brick house 6 meters away. It had an ugly old ivy vine climbing halfway up its wall. The cold autumn air had stripped the leaf from the vine. Now, only its almost bare branches clung to the crumbling brick. Cling, clung, clung. Its almost bare branch clung to the crumbling brick. What is it, dear? Asked Sue. 6, whispered Joanna. They are falling faster now. 3 days ago, there were almost 100. I got a headache counting them. But now it's easy. There goes another one. There are only 5 left now. 5 what, Joanna? Tell me. Leaf on an ivy vine. I know that I will die when the last leaf falls. Oh, I've never heard such nonsense, complained Sue. What do old ivy leaves have to do with your getting well? You used to love that vine, you silly girl. Now, what did the doctor tell me this morning? Oh yes, he said that your chance of getting better were 10 to 1. Now try some soup and let me get back to my drawing. I need to sell it to the magazine so I can buy some wine for you and pork chop for me. You don't need to get any more wine, said Joanna sadly as she looked out the window. And I don't want any soup. Look, there goes another one. Now there's only 4. I want to see the last one before it gets dark. Then I will go too. I want to see the last one before it gets dark. I will go too. Joanna, dear, said Sue, bending over her. Will you promise me to keep your eyes closed and not look out the window until my work is finished? I must hand this drawing in by tomorrow. Couldn't you draw in another room? Asked Joanna coldly. I'd rather be here with you, said Sue. Besides, I don't want you to keep looking at those silly ivy leaves. Tell me as soon as you are finished, said Joanna. Her face was white as she closed her eye. She lay as still as a fallen statue. I want to see the last one she whispered. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of thinking. I want to let go of everything and go sailing down, 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 just like one of those poor, tired leaves. Try to sleep, said Sue. I must call Mr. Barrymont up here. I want him to be my model for the drawing of the old miner. I won't be wrong. Don't try to move until I come back, Joanna. Mr. Berman's masterpiece. Old Mr. Barman was a painter who lived on the ground floor of their building. He was past 60 and had a long, curly beard. Berman was a failure in art. He had painted for 40 years, and he was always saying that he was about to paint a masterpiece, but he never did. For several years, he had only painted advertisement. He earned a little by posing for the young artists in the colony who could not pay for a professional model. Posing for a young artist in the colony who could not pay for a professional model. He drank a lot of gin and still talked to his future masterpiece. Everyone thought he was a fierce and tough old man, but he thought of himself as Joanna and Sue's protector. Berman smelled strongly of gin when Sue found him. In one corner of his dimly lit den was a black canvas on an easel. In a corner of his dimly lit den, dimly lit den was a black canvas on an easel. It was to be used for his great masterpiece, but the canvas has been waiting there, gathering dust for 25 years. Sue told him of Joanna's belief about the leaf. She also told him she was frightened that Joanna would actually float away like one of those leaves. Berman's eye was red, and tears flowed down his old face. "What?" he cried. "Are there people in this world who foolishly believe they will die because a leaf dropped off the old vine? I have never heard of such a thing. No, I will not pose as your old miner. Why do you allow her to think of such foolish thing? Oh, poor little Joanna. She is very ill and fragile," said Sue, "and the fever has filled her mind with strange ideas. Mr. Berman, if you don't wish to pose for me, you needn't, but I think you are a hurried and thoughtless person." "You are a typical woman," yelled Berman. "Who said I wouldn't pose? I've been ready for half an hour. God, what a horrible place for someone as sweet as Miss Joanna to be sick. Someday I will paint my masterpiece, and then we will go away together, God." Joanna was sleeping when they went upstairs. Sue pulled the window shade down to cut out the light. Pull the window shade down to cut out the light, and led Berman into the other room. They looked nervously out the window at the ivy vine. Cold rain and snow were falling outside. They looked at each other for a moment without speaking. Then Berman posed in his old blue shirts as the old miner while Sue quickly drew him. Next morning, When Sue woke up, she found Joanna staring with two wide-open eyes at the drawn window shade. "Put it up, Sue. I want to see the ivy," she whispered. Sue faintly obeyed. But an amazing sight was waiting for them. Sue patiently obeyed. But the magic sight was waiting for them. After a driving rain and fierce gust of wind during the night, an ivy leaf still remained on the vine. It was dark green near its stem, but its edges were light yellow. The single leaf hung bravely from a branch 6 meters above the ground. "It's the last one," said Joanna. "I heard the wind and was sure it would fall during the night. It will fall today, and if it does, I will die too." "Dear Joanna," said Sue, laying her tired face down on the pillow. "Think of me. If you won't think of yourself, what would I do without you? What would I do without you? What would I do without you? Think of me. If you won't think of yourself." But Joanna did not answer. The loneliest time of all is when a soul is let it to take that mysterious journey out of its world. The loneliest time over is when a soul is let to take that mysterious journey out of this world. Now, Joanna tried to hear her friends and earth were coming loose. Joanna's ties to her friends and earth were coming loose. The day went by. Through the twilight, they could see the lonely ivy leaf clinging to its stem against the wall. At nightfall, the north wind blew strongly, and the rain beat loudly against the window. The next morning, when it was light enough, Joanna asked Sue to raise the window shade. When it was light enough, the ivy leaf was still there. Joanna lay for a long time looking at it, and then she called Sue, who was stirring her chicken soup over the gas stove. "I've been a bad girl, Sue," said Joanna. "Something has made that last leaf stay there to show me how weak I am. It is seen to want to die. You may bring me a little soup now, and some milk with a little wine in it. No, bring me a small mirror first, and then pack some pillow about me. I will sit up and watch you cook." An hour later, she said, "Sue, someday I hope to paint the Bay of Napier." The doctor came in the afternoon. Sue followed him into the hallway as he left. "Even chance," said the doctor, taking Sue's thin, shaking hand in his. "With good nursing you will. And now I must see another patient I have downstairs. Berman, his name is. Some kind of an artist, I believe. Pneumonia has struck him down too. He was weak old man, very, very ill. There is no hope for him, but I'm sending him to the hospital today where he will be more comfortable. The next day, the doctor said to Sue, "You've won. Joanna is out of danger. Good food and care. That's all she needs now." That afternoon, Joanna was lying in her bed, happily knitting a blue scarf. Sue sat beside Joanna and put her arm around her shoulder. "I have something to tell you," she said softly. "Old Mr. Berman died in hospital today. He was sick with pneumonia for only 2 days. The janitor found him in his room on the morning of the first day. He was helpless and in great pain. His shoes and clothing were wet through and he was icy cold. They couldn't imagine where he had been on such a dreadful night. Then they found a lantern and a ladder leaning against the neighbor's brick wall. Beside it, they found some brush and a palette with green and yellow color on it. Look out the window, dear Joanna. See the last ivy leaf on the wall. Didn't you wonder why it never flattened or moved when the wind blew? That is Mr. Berman's masterpiece. He painted it there one night, then that last leaf fell."